Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on EQUINOXE Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories, the governor of the northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, hit by socio-political and security crisis for close to 3 years today, urges all parents to send their children to school come September 2nd, 2019. His back-to-school campaign was almost interrupted by gunshots coming from unidentified gunmen, notably in Momo division. And of course, the governor went through different parts of the region campaigning for an effective back-to-school come September. And also in this newscast, we'll talk about the death of Cameroon's former Prime Minister Sadou Ayatu, who gave up the ghost today following a prolonged illness. And we'll also talk about the Confederation of African Football, whose management has been taken over by FIFA. Stay with us. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us in this edition of the news on EQUINOXE Television. Unidentified gunmen attempted to disrupt the back-to-school campaign of Northwest Governor Adolphe Lafrique in the Momo division in the northwest region of the country. They were pushed back by elements of the National Armed Forces, and the governor urged the population of the Momo division and the entire region to send their children to school come September 2019. Details with a Northwest correspondent, Stella. A Northwest correspondent, Stella, with that report. And Governor Adolphe Lafrique's back-to-school campaign. He has been going from one part of the region to the other, urging parents to send their children to school for an effective back-to-school come September 2nd, 2019. And his back-to-school campaign was almost interrupted by gunshots coming from unidentified gunmen, notably in the Momo division. Details with Stella.
Statistics from education stakeholders of the Northwest region, the 2018-2019 school year left nothing to be desired of. In Momo division alone, 22 out of the 63 secondary schools were partially or completely destroyed. In the basic sector, 16 schools have been vandalized, while 4 others were occupied by those the authorities refer to as terrorists.
We did not only register closures, but we registered, as I indicated, acts of arson and theft perpetrated by these young men who have taken up arms against the Republic, who carried away most of the equipment in our schools and training centers. One of the most hard hit
We're sorry for the abrupt end of that report by a Northwest correspondent, Stella, reporting there from Bamenda on the back-to-school campaign of Northwest Governor Adolphe Lafrique. Will be coming back to that report in our subsequent news editions. And the Anglophone crisis has crumbled development in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. In the southwest region, the development authorities, SOWEDA, has revealed that there is no way. In other words, it is impossible to carry out any development activity across the region. And speaking during the first ordinary session of that institution for 2019, the chairperson indicated that the institution is unable to ensure the security and safety of its workers. Details with Derek Jato in Boya.
SOWEDA mission is well spelled out to implement the government program aimed at improving on the economic and social development of the people of the Southwest region, and with lone objective to improve on the standard of living of the rural population. But for 3 years now, the Southwest region has been witnessing an armed conflict, a conflict that has transformed farms, street and homes into battlefields, causing many to flee out of their villages into other towns and countries for safety. Today in the southwest region, most outdoor activities are heavily guarded in case of any eventuality.
There is no guarantee that Soweto will be able to protect its workers and its equipment. And so the only option Soweto has as of now would be to reduce its activities while waiting for security to return to our land.
He is Mr. Ejage Apande Hebet, Chairman of the Board of Directors here at the Southwest Development Authority Soweto, and as the Chair and Convener of this first ordinary session of the Board for the 2019 financial year. During his welcome address, charged these board members not to relent, for urgent action must be taken on the field to rescue the situation.
We believe very strongly that before the end of the year, we are going to see places that were not accessible before because of insecurity. They are going to be accessible. That is the only hope we have.
And Dr. Besong Tui Ogok, Soweto Director General, says they are practically getting set to accompany farmers.
Some roads within the Pako division that come the beginning of the dry season, we will start with those roads. We hope that that will enable farmers in those areas to be able to have access to market. This is the beginning of the seed production season, so we have on board to produce seed material, especially for maize and plantains, and even for yams.
This is the first session the two authorities are attending as board chair and director general respectively.
Development is brought to a halt, or better still, killed by the Anglophone crisis, and Cameroon's former Prime Minister Sadou Ayato is killed by a prolonged illness. He is no more. He died earlier today in Switzerland from a prolonged illness at the age of 77. He was Prime Minister of Cameroon from 1991 to 1992. Sadou Ayato is known for his role in the tripartite conference organized at the end of the ghost town that hit the country in the early 90s, launched by the opposition following a disputed presidential election, and the conference laid the groundworks for Cameroon's democracy. He was also Secretary General of the Presidency of the Republic and President of the Inter-African Coffee Organization. He died earlier today in Switzerland. Coming up next, Innocent Aze tells us that insecurity is fast becoming a major problem in the Yaoundé 6 municipality, and municipal authorities are taking measures to stop the growing insecurity sweeping across that municipality. Innocent Aze reports.
Insecurity and deviant behaviors are increasing at an alarming rate in Yaoundé 6 subdivision in the central region of Cameroon.
Qui escalade donc les murs du centre.
Many thugs, Dr. Alexandre Manga, Director General of the Rehabilitation Center for Handicapped Persons, says, jump over the fence into the center to steal and commit other atrocities.
Profite parfois prétextant qu'ils viennent en paroisse.
Another problem faced in the center, he notes, is cohabitation, which has become problematic and resulted to theft.
À côté d'un bâtiment, et ils s'en vont avec.
Respecting the recent obligation of the Minister of Territorial Administration for security to be strengthened with a lot of vigilance, the divisional officer for Yaoundé 6 reunited forces of law and order, traditional rulers and municipal authorities to urge them open wide their eyes to detect and deal with any suspected act that will threaten public tranquility.
Toujours des situations, par exemple, du développement.
Apollinaire Damanvondo instructs every actor play their role to foster peace and establish security of persons and properties in Yaoundé 6. That the population to play a collaborative role by denouncing and reporting criminals. The divisional officer also emphasized that vigilance should be multiplied by every actor, including the population, to ensure Yaoundé 6 becomes a crime-free municipality.
Qu'il soit de nature à discréditer les institutions.
This, he notes, will strengthen security of all, and Yaoundé 6, with a cosmopolitan population, will see living together and integration stand tall.
From the Yaoundé 6 subdivision to the Yaoundé 2 municipality, where the metro snack bar and buildings around the bar have remained closed for security reasons after the explosion that left 3 persons severely injured, and the divisional officer for Yaoundé 2 subdivision says the cause of the explosion is yet to be clearly established. Details with Fomi Armstrong Sander.
In the early hours of Wednesday, 31st July 2019, we are welcomed at the Dubai Center in Yaoundé 2 subdivision by a security line tied across the area, an indication of the explosion that hit the area, with its impact still very visible. Police could be seen walking up and down in their preliminary investigations.
Bon, c'était environ 19h30.
This local says it all began at 7:30 p.m. when people started running in confusion after an explosive was discovered in one of the snack bars. Just when the tense atmosphere could finally settle, a loud explosion erupted in front of the next snack bar, known as Le Metro. The traders in front of the metro were severely wounded, while the bar was immediately sealed by the mixed security elements of gendarmerie and police officers. The explosive that provoked the initial tension was discovered some 20 meters away from Le Metro and few meters close to Dubai VIP snack bar. Another witness said police officials came shortly after the discovery, demanded the deployment of specialists in explosives, who finally took it away after a series of experiments to confirm that it was an explosive. Contacted on phone, the divisional officer for Yaoundé 2 subdivisions said it is an incident whose true cause is yet to be clearly determined. At press time, the 3 structures implicated were still closed, probably to permit a productive investigation. The incident has continued to generate unanswered questions both on mainstream and social media in Cameroon. They want to know the origin of the explosive, the objective of he who brought it there, and how it got to the place. Nothing is, however, certain as of now, but the fact that 3 persons got severely wounded as a result of the explosion and have been taken to a hospital in Yaoundé, Cameroon's political capital, for a proper medical attention.
Now out of the country, Rwanda has restricted the movement of persons across the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo due to the Ebola virus that has killed 1,800 people in the past 1 year. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
1 year after the first Ebola case was detected in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda has restricted the movement of persons across its borders with the Democratic Republic of Congo, where 1,800 persons were killed by the virus and 2,600 others infected by the disease. Saudi Arabia, on its part, has restricted the issuing of visas for Congolese. The number of new Ebola cases recorded each week is hovering near its highest levels since the beginning of the epidemic. In July 2019, between 80 and 100 people were diagnosed with the disease every week, with July being declared by the World Health Organization as the public health emergency of international concern. Following the declaration of the epidemic on the 1st of August 2018, a mass response was rapidly launched known as investigational vaccine and developmental treatments. Despite this, the virus seems difficult to be completely eradicated, as a 3rd case was confirmed in the city of Goma on Thursday after the first person to have contacted the disease died last month.
The takeover of the Confederation of African Football, CAF, by the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, started today, and the mandates of the takeover could last till 2020. Smanjikan Gabriel has more.
It was during the General Assembly meeting that took place in Cairo that the Confederation of African Football's president announced that CAF will seek the expertise of World Football Governing Body FIFA to assess the current situation in CAF and help to conclusively accelerate the implementation of the ongoing reform process destined to ensure that CAF functions with transparency, efficiency, while abiding to the highest governance standards. A proposal that was unanimously approved by the members of the Executive Committee of CAF. It is in this light that FIFA agreed to appoint FIFA's Secretary General Fatma Samora as FIFA's General Secretary for Africa. Ms. Fatma Samora will be assisted by a group of experts who will work in a spirit of partnership with President Ahmad Ahmad and his team in several areas, which include, amongst others, to oversee operational management of CAF, including governance and administrative procedures, to ensure the efficient and professional organization of all CAF competitions and support the growth and development of football in all the countries and regions of the Confederation of African Football. FIFA and CAF will thus work closely in order to best serve all African member associations to bring stability, serenity, professionalism, and effective football development on African continent, where the passion for football is so prevalent. Fatma Samora, whose mission to CAF has a 6-month period, started Thursday, August 1, 2019, and will come to an end on January 31st, 2020, which will be renewable with the agreement of both organizations.
Talking point up next. Thanks for staying with us in Talking Points. We are receiving the home front coordinator of the Federalists. He's also a teacher. Adi Anu, you're welcome.
Thank you.
As a teacher, what do you think about the next academic year that is starting on the 2nd of September 2019 with regards to the present socio-political and security situation in the northwest and southwest regions of the country? The governor goes campaigning, Mancho BBC also campaigning, and the other revolutionists and also political and civil society leaders. Have you been campaigning also?
I've joined the campaign crew for effective back to school come September 2nd, 2019. We all want our children to go back to school. The major issue is the security threat. Once there is no security threat, then I think our children are normally supposed to go back. So I've actually suffered a lot because my children were schooling somewhere in the northwest, and for the past 3 years they are back home. And even if they are going to school somewhere here in the littoral, the classes are so congested. Even me, when I'm in class teaching, a class that I used to have an effective of about 60, now 120, even to correct the scripts is another headache. So we are praying that the situation should change, dramatically change, so that the school should go that way, and let us, the teachers this way, also be able to do an effective job.
The resumption of the next academic year or back to school is in 1 month from now. When you look at the present state of things in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, do you have the impression that it's going to be possible for children to go to school in Kwakwa, in Ngi, in Balangi, and so on? Those remote areas deeply affected by the crisis.
An academic year is composed of 40 weeks. Actually, the 2018-2019 academic year ended on the 26th. That's a few days ago. An academic year is composed of 40 weeks. With an effective work done for about 32 weeks. So reconstructing those classrooms, if the two camps agree to drop or to withdraw, reconstructing those classrooms, or even makeshift classrooms, so that reconstruction can be going on. If it's possible, it can be done. So it's not so difficult. It can be done. The problem is the political will, because the issue here is, as we the federalists have been saying, we don't avoid the problem and try to solve the crisis. No. The crisis came because of the problems tabled, and we should look at the problems before going to look at the solution to the crisis. But what I see is we are struggling to solve the crisis without solving the problems, and it is not possible.
Solving the crisis without solving the problem? What do you mean by
okay,
that?
There are problems that were tabled, which started with the, we all know what happened from the October 2016. Problems were tabled, which finally became political problems. Now that they have become political problems, people arrested, those are the problems.
Problems in the educational system,
the legal system, which have not been solved up to today.
But something has to be done.
Yes.
And you were talking about a ceasefire, but everybody is talking about this ceasefire, but apparently it seems to be very far from reality as of now.
It's just the lack of the political will on both parties. And that's why we, the federalists, we have come up.
All right. Now the Anglophone leaders who are detained in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, are on a hunger strike, demanding for the whereabouts or evidence that Mancho, BBC, and the other detainees who were taken out of prison are alive and in good health. Some information has been dished out by the government saying that they are alive, they are being exploited, they are being exploited within the context of investigations, but they are still on strike action demanding for more evidence. What do you think about this hunger strike that has been undertaken by the Anglophone leaders?
Yes, we believe in the federalists, and we always say that all lives matter. Every single human life matters. So what the leaders, Ayok Tambe and the others are doing is the zeal, the desire to see that those who were taken after the prison strike,
the protests
in prison, they should at least they should produce them. You remember Ayok Tambe and others spent 6 months in a set. So they should produce them. However, if the government, the Minister of Communication reacted recently and said they are alive on his Twitter handle, that they are alive, we should at least pray that we should not at least have confidence that he is a man of his words, that they are alive. But the
leaders seem not to have confidence in the Yaoundé administration.
Well, actually, as a federalist who believe in the unity of Cameroon, in the oneness of Cameroon, would believe that federation can still reunite us with. I still have some hope and belief in the administration that is running Yaoundé.
Do you have hope in the you have confidence in that administration?
I said hope,
no,
but I cannot so confine in whatsoever they are saying there, because I cannot count how many occasions certain things have been said and they turn out not to be true.
And some have simply become hopeless as far as the Yaoundé administration is concerned. They think that everything that is coming from there are simply lies, so to speak.
Well, if there are people who are hopeless, but I don't think I have completely lost hope in the administration of Yaoundé.
And you're looking towards the solutions to this problem from the federalist angle, as was highlighted recently in the lower house of representatives in the United States.
Yeah, the lady, the representative, the member of parliament of the lower house of parliament was here in Yaoundé. Actually, I heard she was not given access to go to that zone, but actually when she came here, we all saw her. The Minister of Defense showed her images, and then she also talked with the opinion leaders in Cameroon, even opposition leaders. And when she went back, this House Resolution 358 was passed. One of the recommendations was that Cameroon should be thinking of going back to a possible federation, which will be a solution where the rights of both the majority and the minority are secured. So I think that is this is the only solution, because if we hear that there are some negotiations, background negotiations going on or about to go on in Switzerland, the Geneva talks, we all know that during dialogue, you pull their own angle, I pull my own angle, and we only have to come to a compromising point. And that compromising point, if all of us are very honest in Cameroon, is returning to a federation.
Some are talking of 2-state federation, some are talking of 10 states. Which is the best?
I have always said I will cross that bridge when I come to it.
All right. What do you think about confederation? There is another idea, the confederal system.
A confederal system, as in the United Kingdom, where we have Ireland and all those things. Well, they should go to a dialogue table and come up with something. But the point is, we should struggle to go to a dialogue table. Confederation, federation, we are all still in a republic, the Republic of Cameroon.
In the same vein. So, but do you think that this is something that is that can be achieved in the short while, or in the nearest future? Because we heard the Prime Minister in Bamenda saying that the government is ready to talk everything except secession. That simply implies that government is also ready to talk federalism, though he did not mention that. But after that, we've heard nothing again from the Prime Minister or from the Yaoundé administration as a whole, as far as federation is concerned.
I think when the head of state was in Switzerland a few weeks ago, we also heard that the group that was struggling to negotiate dialogue, or negotiate with the dialogue between the separationists and the government of Cameroon was there. Then we certainly would have seen that the head of state was, something was in the pipeline, boiling. And that's why we, the federalists, will keep on pushing. We have come up with the blueprint. We are working on a federalist constitution to present to the Republic, to present to those who will be on the dialogue table.
All right. Adi Anyu, Home Front Coordinator of the Federalists, thanks for coming.
It has been my pleasure.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today.